Hello! In today's tutorial I will show you a function that will help you to measure the performance and the impact of your courses. It's very important to make decisions based on data and actual feedback from students, not only our own feelings and impressions. The function that helps us to do that is called Passport. Where does this name came from? Just like a regular passport contains a general set of important information about us, a course passport collects information from few sources and it allows us to evaluate the course and learn about the impact it has in the lives of students. Let's start. At the beginning I will show you what a sample passport looks like, what it consists of, and then we will go to the configuration and the student view. This is a passport for the YGSS course. It starts with the information about the course audience and course goal and continues with three main parts: outputs, outcomes and impact. Outputs are selected information from course analytics presented in the form of chart over time. Outcomes are information collected from students with outcome survey. I will show you how to build these surveys in a minute. Impact. Here information is collected from students with the impact survey. So what is the difference between outcome and impact? The impact surveys are sent sometime after the outcome survey. You can set how many days later, so we learn what was the course impact over time. Okay, let's set it up. First, we will need to prepare the questions that we want to ask our students. Go to the Super Admin menu, Settings and Passport fields. Here we can define questions available for both the outcome and impact surveys. We are not creating the final survey here, only prepare standardized questions that may be used in outcomes and impact surveys. That way, questions we create will be available for every course and can be used multiple times. Here we see a list of outcome questions that have already been created. You can see that these can be yes/no questions, multiple answer or open text answers. Okay, let's add a new question and choose what type of question it should be. The label field will only be used for administrative purposes. We can ask, for example, do you want to make some changes in your life as a result of taking course name course? You can see that I've used the variable course name. That way, you can use the same question in any course. You can also see other variables, see what's available for you for each field in the field description. Let's choose yes/no question type. You can enter the labels for yes, for example, yes I want, and no, not really, and save it. Let's create another question, this time an open-ended. For example, what would you like to change in your life? Description. Is there anything you would like to share with us? We can remind you about your decision. Let's create a third question, multiple choice type. For example, select two characteristics that describe your coach the best. Here you have a choice, either checkbox, which is multiple choice, or radio buttons, one answer from the selection. For our example, we choose, of course, the checkbox. Now we add options. For example, funny, sincere, strong, patient, wise, and save it. Now let's move to the impact section. As I mentioned before, here you can create questions that will be sent sometime after the outcome survey. And the one more thing that can give us very interesting data, these questions can be related to the outcome survey answers. I will show you what it means in a minute. Let's create the first impact question. We can ask about the impact the course had in their life. Example question. Do you see some changes in your life as a result of doing course name course? The question type is yes/no. And here comes the alternative question. That is optional, but it gives us more accurate results. Alternative question will only be presented to the user if we relate it to the outcome question, and the user has answered the outcome question before. This connection is made in another screen. We just defined here the question. Let's create alternative question. 2 weeks ago you've shared. Outcome answer. Did you succeed? Later, we will relate this impact question to the one we've added earlier in the outcome section, which was what would you like to change in your life? That way, the user will see his answer from 2 weeks back and will be able to answer based on what happened in his life. We need to specify how many days after the outcome survey this question should be presented, and we are done here. Let's save it. You can add more questions here. For example, a simple comment, open-ended question, to follow up the yes/no answer. Okay, survey questions are ready. Now let's create actual surveys. In our words, let's create a passport. Each course has its own passport. We enter the selected course and select the passport tab. Here we can start with writing what is the goal of our course and what is the audience. Now let's add some outputs. This is simple. Go to the Outputs section and click Add Output. From the drop-down list, select the option with the statistics that interests you the most. For example, number of students that completed the course. We can also assign a goal to this output, which is a desired number of results for a particular date. It will appear as a straight line on our graph and we can measure the actual results against it. Okay, we get an empty chart. We will have to wait for the results that will be collected over time. That's why it's good to do it when we launch a new course. We can of course add more outputs if we want to. Now let's work on our outcomes section. This is where we build our course survey and outcome survey. Click Add Outcomes to pick from the list of questions we've created later. Let's add our first question. Here it is, ready to collect data. We can also set the goal or edit it later. Now let's add the second question, the open-ended one. Here we can use some conditional logic and say, I want this question only to be presented if the answer of the previous question was yes. You can quickly do it in the settings here. And the last question, the multiple choice one. Let's add it too. Now let's move on to the impact section. We start with adding our first question. Here we can relate it to the outcome questions, remember? This will make it to display the alternative question instead of main question. And this is what we want in that case. It's a way to investigate whether the commitments made by students have an impact in their lives or not. Let's relate it to the what would you like to change in your life. And that's it. Now let's add a comment to follow it up. Both questions have a delay of 14 days, which means that 2 weeks after student fills up the outcome survey, he will receive an email with a link to the impact survey with these 2 questions on it. Okay, the passport is ready. Outputs will be filled automatically based on the student's activity. Outcomes and impact will be based on students filling up the surveys. Let's add the outcome survey to the course. You can choose whatever place you want. Just click Add Survey, place some additional introductory content and the message when the survey is sent. Below you can see the preview of your survey. Let's go to the course. It's important to check this view as a student. It won't be visible for us as administrators. Switch to the student view, and as we see here, the survey is visible. And how the impact survey looks like. 2 weeks passed, the email has arrived, we click on it, and here it is. That's it for now. For more details, we highly encourage you to contact us. We will answer all your questions. Thank you for using Gele platform.